So, now that we have some eyes, and we've got a brow, and we've got the bridge of the nose starting up here, I actually want to move over to the mouth next. I think that would probably be a good choice just to get that working so that we can then set up for the nose and connect to the rest of the area. That, and because it's another orifice spot, not much like the eye socket. And we're going to proceed modeling the same way we did with the eye socket, which is we're going to create a polygon for the mouth and extrude out the lips, and then ultimately the surrounding area for the smile area for the place. All right. So, that being the case, let me hit Alt W over here, and let me create a plane, just the way we did for the eyes. At least, yeah, for the eye socket. Let me convert this to an editable poly, and I probably could have added some detail on there, but let's not worry about that. Let me make sure to center this out just to be on the safe side, at least on the x-axis. And now I will begin making connections and adding up some geometry to this fella. And I'm going to want some detail area in here. Connect. So hold on, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do 4 per quadrant. 4 spots per quadrant. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. I think this will work out very well. For now, let's just do some really simple shaping in here. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? And by simple, I mean like exceedingly so. I just want to get a general shape for the whole thing. Ultimately, one should realize that this means that this is going to be an open mouth. And that's important to understand. It's important because you want to have an open mouth. You can't model a closed mouth, because if you model a closed mouth, then sooner or later someone's going to want to rig that thing to animate so that they can open the mouth, and when they try, they'll be pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised. And that will suck. We will not be worth our salt as modelers if we can't model an open mouth. It'll kind of be like that moment in The Matrix where Smith melts Neo's mouth closed, and he can't open it. It'd be like that, which was kind of cool then, but would not be cool for reality. All right, I think that'll do. Doesn't? Yeah, I mean, hold on. Let's see. Let's scale it down a little further, just 'cause. And we'll do some tweaking and adjusting in the side view as well. Ooh, it's a little far back. We need to, let's pull that forward. Ultimately, these two objects will become the same object. We'll merge them, we'll attach them together. But for now, let's just work as we are. Okay, I'm going to use my top view to select my verts, and I'm going to use my side view, and well, basically all my other views, to make sure that it's working properly. Alright. Give that a pull. Keep on going. Actually nope. Gotta remember not to try and rotate that view. It's very easy to do for me though. For now, I just want them pulled out just a little bit. Now, almost there. let me show you the catch that we're running into here. Now, from this view, we're looking pretty okay. I mean, it's not perfectly adhered to that face, and it has a little bit of roundness to it. But take a look at the side. From the side view, we've barely gone anywhere at all, really, in terms of the breadth of the lips, that sort of thing. Here's the problem with it, though. If I try and grab that and pull that as far as it's suggested in my my example, in my side view, you'll notice that in my top view, that's really pulled. I mean, if I pulled all of these, so that they reflected that, I can already tell as a 3D artist that that's really not going to work. That's not going to work with the rest of my model. It'll feel like the corners of his lips are really pulled back. So I really cannot trust my side view to this extent. I do want to pull it more than it is, but if I had to choose between one or the other, I'm going to choose my front view. You see, I like the how can I put it? The width of the lips given my current setup, and if I have to make some changes, which I always will, I will. But for now, I want to try and keep favored towards the front image more than the side image. And that is going to have to do for now. Let's go in here and let's actually create some geometry. Let's select our edges, loop this and loop the top, and grab the corners individually. And now we will extrude these fellas out. So I will hit scale and I will hold shift and scale, and there's our new set of lips, except that, well, they're not much to look at right now. I'll be the first to admit. That and these corners need to really get moved out. Yep, these things are definitely going to need to be tweaked and adjusted. But on that note, now that we have something worth writing home about, let's go ahead and attach these two together. Now, I'll be honest. Here, hold on, let me save this really quick, because it's been a while since I've saved. Now, I'll be the first to admit I've forgotten which comes first in the attachment setup, but it'll come back to me. Either that or I'll, make a mistake and I'll try again. Let me start down here on this object, and let's see, edit geometry, attach, click on that, and it looks like I think I went the right way, except that this plane is facing the wrong way. Let's select that and let's flip that. There we go. Now those lips are facing the right way. Ooh! You know what? I take it back. Look, I lost all my modifiers. I lost my symmetry modifier, I lost my mesh smooth modifier. I want that in reverse. I want to attach this object to that object. So that being the case, oh, that's under edit vertices. That's not what I want. Edit geometry. Here we go. Attach. Alright, there. Now I still have my symmetry and my mesh smooth. I do still have to flip these verts, but that's fine. And you know what? I'm also going to delete half of these. Hold on, let's see. Is that? So, this. Okay. You couldn't really tell just from seeing there, but I did delete half of my vertices right there in that action. And I can already tell these corners are still pulled out too far. So, I'm going to grab these corners and I'm going to pull them back a touch. And now I need to get to shaping. So, Like I said, I trust my front view more than my side view, so that's where I'm going to start. And I can thin that out a little bit. Either that or fatten it up, one or the other. Okay, now to make the inside of the mouth a little more manageable, I'm actually going to grab and delete some of these edges. I'm going to make it a singular polygon. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit backspace. I'm going to do the same over here. Backspace. There we go. Now this is all a single polygon. I'm going to get rid of that extra vert. Backspace. There. Now I can shape the upper lips a little more clearly. Again, it's very important that I have this quad structure, including on the corners, especially on the corners. I see a lot of people who mess this up and will make the lips continue their edge loops off into there. They shouldn't do that. They should wrap around like such. Do not leave that to chance. Do not screw that up. When I initially model the mouth, I want to model it a little bit open so that I can make adjustments accordingly, and then later on, if I want to, I can close it. And I'll show you that in a little bit, but for now... Okay, I think that'll do. Alright, let's go ahead and go back to our main view here. And I'm going to go ahead and create an inset, or rather, well, create a polygon extrude into the lips. There we go. You hit extrude, let me pull that in as such. This part out a little bit, not so much that it breaks the mirror, but push that back in. Now you can't see it. Let me go ahead and turn off symmetry so that you can. But there is a polygon right here which breaks things up. It's past the mirror point, but I don't care. I'm going to delete it anyway, just because I don't want it interfering with the rest of my geometry. Alright, let me turn symmetry modifier back on. Okay, I now have an inside of my mouth, which I'm going to actually... Might seem a little odd to add so much additional geometry on the inside, but on the inside of the mouth, but I do want to create a little bit of curvature, that sort of thing. Either that, or I could actually use the geometry that we have right now. I was thinking about using a connection to create that inside of the lips, but instead I'm just going to do an extrude on the inside. Just scale that up. And you know what? I don't like it. Here, let me get into detail. Instead of doing that, I will just grab all of the edges on the upper lip, except that I'm at a bad rotation angle. Let me hit Z, zoom in. There we go. Okay, I'll grab that, and I'll just move that up. Grab these, move these down. Grab that corner and move it out, because it's kind of in a funny place. Alright, that should be enough geometry for the inside of the mouth, but now I just want to be able to point this out to you. No, we still do have this back wall, which is a good thing actually, because it keeps the thing closed. But let me go ahead and do one more extrude. I lied. I completely lied. I'm basically creating an inside of the mouth because I can actually see what I'm doing here now. And I figure now's a good time to give that a little bit of attention. Okay, let me quickly turn off my symmetry modifier because, as usual, I want to get rid of those extra walls that were created and not dealt with. Delete those. Again, if you want to be able to see that a little more clearly, it's these fellas. I'm going to delete that, reapply my turn back on my symmetry modifier. And alright, we have some progress going on here. Plenty on the inside of the mouth, but not much on the outside. We have some general shaping going on, but let's go ahead and turn on the mesh smooth and see how this looks as is. Nothing amazing, nothing special at the moment. I am glad that I added that extra bit of geometry on the inside. Otherwise, the lips here would be much more amorphous than they are. And I'm going to add another edge loop to the inside of the lips. But first, let's go ahead and keep this going out, because what I want is to create the mouth structure for the smile lines, for the areas that will go across the nose, etc. So getting that in place will be very useful. Okay. At this point, I should be able to loop this and have it, select the entire area of the mouth. And I will go to my scale tool, and I will hold Shift and click and drag on Z, and I now have some additional geometry to work with, which is good. Let me take a closer look here. This technically doesn't even affect the model, but it's as you can see, it's the vertices that go past the center line, and I like to keep those relatively close to where they should be, towards the center. Anyway, now with that set up, I will start shaping where I want the rest of this mouth area to go. And again, this might surprise you that I'm setting this up in such large amounts, but the beauty of this is, and I will jump back out to here to show you this, the beauty of this is that I have a nice ring set up here. And that's just due to the way that I set it up originally, by starting with a single polygon and extruding everything out. Because of that, I have a ring structure that I can easily select and easily, if I want to, connect to add additional bits of detail and information. Now, I'm not doing that yet because if I get too stuck on the nitty-gritty, then I'll forget about the whole of the object. And that's part of what this is about. This is about getting the detail where you need it. And so right now what I want to do is I want to shape this stuff out as much as possible so that I can get this smile line properly set up. Again, this is a little bit deceiving, but what I want to do here is I want to get the bridge of the nose, and then the nostrils wrapped around. I might even add some geometry later on just to make this a little bit of an easier job. But for now, this will do. Alright. I'm contemplating actually, I'll go ahead and pull this out a little further so that it actually wraps up to this area of the nose. And if I need more geometry for the nose area itself, I will actually create a connects to take care of that. For now, let's go ahead, and we haven't even touched this area, so let's go ahead and go over here. Those are some thin lips. Alright. This could get tricky. So I just looped that selection, and now I will loop this outer selection. I will push that forward. Like I said, I'd have I need to get a lot more detail into here, but for now I think this will do. These back corners might be a little too far pressed out, so I'm actually going to grab them and push them back just a touch. Maybe a touch too much. Alright. Okay, I don't want to put too much additional detail onto these lips, but for now I do definitely need at least one edge loop around here to help define them a little further. So let me ring and let me connect, and now I will use this to define the lower part of the lip. Let me do that simultaneously over here. That will help out. Okay, that's a good start. And then the further out you go, you should probably even up a little bit. It should not be a hard edge the further out you go. I do kind of want to pull this out. I want to keep that jaw broad. Is it exaggerated? Yes. Do I like it that way? Absolutely. And now I will do some tweaks over here on the center area of the lip. Be careful not to grab too many verts. Oops. Try that again. I'll just push that forward some more. And now I need to take this area and I need to push that forward because I need to be getting the nose set up here. As you can see, this top area here is not quite aligned with my bottom area, so I'm going to have to make some tough decisions as to what I want to do about that. Oh, there we go. That's not too bad. Alright. Let's take another look at this with Mesh Smooth, see how it's looking. It's alright. The general information is there, and I will definitely do a polish pass because some of this is looking okay, some of this is just looking, I can do better. In fact, alright, let me do a quick adjustment round for those lips. Alright. You'll notice that I've gone out of my I'm no longer using my orthographic mock-ups. At this point, I'm just using my my innate skills and abilities as a 3D artist. I'm going to trust my instincts. And perhaps falsely so. We'll find out. Better. I do want to define some of that area of the upper lip a little more, and that's going to require at least one more connection, one more, excuse me, one more connection of edge loops. And that's fine. That's not a problem. I will ring this, and I will connect, but when I connect this time around, I want to slide it close. Since edge ring doesn't want to work, I will use it this way. Let's just see how that looks completely with the mesh smooth. It shouldn't be enough to take care of my problems, but it does help define those lips a whole lot better. And if I add an inner loop, then I'll be able to tweak that even further. But let's pick and choose our battles here. And just because I want to, I'm going to go ahead and grab the top area of those lips, and I'm going to pull them closed. Alright, and I'll leave that last bit. You know what? I shouldn't leave that last bit, because otherwise it'll feel like he's doing this weird smirk of a smile. There we go. And if I ever want to grab them open again, then I can just, go to the inside here and select all of the inside parts of the lips. But for now, let's go ahead and move that closed. I can barely even see the crease on that sucker. Well, we're getting some interesting shadowing issues and artifacts, but I'm not quite sure if that's as a result of our modeling. But that being said, we now have a pair of lips, and they're not a bad pair of lips. They might be a little bit effeminate, so I might need to do some tweaking, that sort of stuff. And I'll tweak it, some more so that it frowns. But the important thing is that we have the major topology taken care of, both on the inside and on the outside, which is very important because your character will actually be able to open his mouth. You can actually give him teeth, a tongue, that sort of stuff, if you were to modify this further. So that's very important. It's very useful. And we're making progress step by step. So next thing will be modeling a nose.